What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Man Up. Welcome back to Bells and Belts, where we talk about anything pertaining to wrestling between the bell and the belts.
Hey, man up. Go ahead and hit us with that intro real quick.
All righty, let's go ahead and hit that intro real quick here.
Hey, there we go.
Ring that bell for me, kind sir. Oh, shuck it now. Now, today we're going to talk about our top 5. What I mean by the top 5, I'm talking about top 5 super heavyweights. Joey, can you please give us a description of what you mean when you think about super heavyweights?
Well, the biggest, fattest guy. No, I'm kidding. No. No, seriously, we're talking about.
Said that.
Yeah, wow. All right, now, but no, we're talking about those guys that at least appear, but no, really are like larger than life. In whether that be a combination of being super tall, like current WWE superstar Omos, or being really really big overall, like Big Van Vader. We're talking about some of these guys that are exceptionally big in one or more ways there.
All right. What do you think about them, Mr. Cedric?
That's pretty spot on. Like it's not the normal guy you see when you walk down the street. Those big guys, larger than life.
Gotcha. Me personally, I do think about the big guys. They don't always have to be super tall. They can just be big for their size, their height, things like that can really go in the ring. Now, let's go ahead and get into our top 5 here. And of course, y'all want to sit back, get some popcorn, and enjoy this show. Cedric, who you have as your number 5?
I got my number 5. Is probably gonna be higher on some other, probably higher on Joey's list. But I got Bam Bam Bigelow as my number 5. At a time where you had these big monsters in mid going into late 80s, you had these big guys, whatnot. Bam Bam was kind of innovative in being that quicker super heavyweight, doing some of those doing some of that extra stuff that you see with the smaller guys coming off the top rope, cartwheels, stuff like that. Just agile big man,
Yeah.
That's something you don't really see that much. I mean, you see it, but it's not common, I guess you could say.
Yeah, on that front, I would say he was definitely a pioneer for that agile big man that we kind of see today.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I mean, there's so much you could say about him, but the very fact that he carried Lawrence Taylor through a main event WrestleMania match, I got to give the man credit.
Oh dear God!
Yes.
And I mean, Bam Bam damn near wrestled a broom that night. Let's be honest,
literally,
because LT had no wrestling ability.
Hey, I got to agree with you on that one.
So
I got to agree with you on that one.
Oh
I
yeah,
about that match. I forgot all about that.
Me too. A lot. Well, that match got that whole WrestleMania got a whole lot of freaking lot of heat because of that match. So that WrestleMania is like ranked one of the worst ones. But
yeah, I could see why y'all say that's ranked one of the worst ones. But me personally, I got to put it up there because of Bam Bam Bigelow, and he's trying to make his opponent look good. So.
I respect that part, whatnot, but still, like the whole show, like,
yeah,
that's one of the WrestleManias. WrestleMania 11 was one of the ones that was WrestleMania supposed to talk about.
Yeah,
I can understand.
Yeah,
who you got there, Mr. Joey?
All right, I'm going to start off with the Big Show.
Okay,
he's going to be my number 5, and I think. As far as, for his time, especially, I know he really started up in the mid-90s in WCW. But I think, as his career went along, he did get better and better. And I think he in a sense, he carried the WWE through a lot of phases as kind of that resident super heavyweight, so to speak, there. And he, up until recently, he was the elder statesman of, up until he left. But
Exactly.
happy to see now that he's, dropped a lot of weight, got himself healthier as he gets older.
Shoot, he looking like a regular heavyweight. Like he trying to like have a freaking pose down with like a Triple H in his day and stuff, man. That joke was looking ripped. I'm like, is that the same guy?
Yeah. Just his very
oh, my bad, sorry. But y'all know why he got in shape, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. So
why are you saying he got in shape?
John Cena was teasing him one day.
Oh.
And and John Cena was like, yeah, who wouldn't want to see a giant with abs? And Big Show said, I'm gonna show him. And
yeah, and I mean, I really hope in a sense that he doesn't have many more matches, just because he's had both hips replaced. It ain't a pretty sight seeing him try to get around in the ring now. I mean, if he's like in a 6-man tag and all he's got to do is make the hot tag come in and clean house or something, I can see that. But I don't want to see him try to have a 20-minute match even at this point, just because he looks like, I'm sure it hurts, and he don't need it. His legend is made, and the day he decides to hang it up with AEW and go back to WWE, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt there. It shows made his mark.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Definitely.
No doubt. I'm right there with you, Cedric. My number 5 was Bam Bam Bigelow.
Okay.
What really caught my attention with Bam Bam Bigelow was the damn head tattoos, and I started watching him, and I was like, damn, big dude can move. And I was a little younger then.
Yeah.
Hey,
about 15 years old, give or take, something like that. I forget exactly, but something like that.
Yeah. And had a nice cameo at Major Payne also.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot all about that too. Like, wow, y'all jogging my memory. But yeah, because the reason why I picked Bam Bam Bigelow, because I have an uncle that resembles Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh yeah,
like that, head tattoos that can move.
Dang.
And that's what made me really, I guess you could say, like the Bam Bam Bigelow because of that. And I forgot when y'all mentioned that WrestleMania match with Lawrence Taylor, I forgot all about that. And so that makes me even further like it. Should have put him a little higher because of that, because of what I said, but I forgot all about that.
It's pretty high when you're talking about all the super heavyweights ever.
Yeah.
It's so many, y'all.
It really is. It really is, man.
We're not going to make one show with this. So we just decided, forget it. This is it.
But yeah.
Who you got there, Cedric?
Oh, but before we move on, can't forget about his ECW run as well.
No, he was great. He was. That was like another wonderful phase of his career. He had great matches with a lot of people. You'll never forget the match with Taz.
Oh my goodness!
Through the ramp, and
didn't they go through the ring too in one of the matches?
It may have. Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, they had some insane matches, and Bam Bam's the one that notoriously took the TV title off of Taz. He was also the one that lost it to Rob Van Dam, which started Van Dam's long run as the ECW World Television Champion.
Yeah, and beat Shane Douglas for the ECW title too.
Yep, he was the world champion too. You can't take nothing away from him during those days.
Exactly.
He was a big part of what made ECW rise to the top.
Exactly. So, yeah, my number 4, going a little old school on it. In the mortal words of Gordon Tully, the madman from the Sudan, Abdul the Butcher. So yeah, Abdul the Butcher, man. I love his diving elbow. He come up, he let it start. That elbow, Abdul the Butcher, man. Him, the battles that he had all over the world, like he didn't stick in one place. As a lot of the guys back in the day, everybody, they all made their rounds. Like him, Andre, the Sheik, all those guys, they were all over it. Bruiser Brody, they were all over it because he was an attraction.
Yeah.
Abdul the Butcher. Oh man, I love that look, man. That crazy look. I liked when Gary Hart was his manager, and he got to control him and whatnot. So it's like it was cool, you know. Abdul the Butcher.
Let's be honest too. Mick Foley took a lot of his material and style from Abby.
He did.
A lot of his offense and the way he worked and stuff like that. He borrowed a lot from. He was inspired by Abdul the Butcher. You could see it in his work.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I had forgot. My brain freeze over that. That went over my head. I ain't.
Although that shows you how ignorant we were in America, because Sudanese, he looked nothing like a Sudanese person. Not a thing.
Yeah, I forgot all about him.
I
remember. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, just piggyback on that during that time before the internet and whatnot, you would assume like, oh, he's from the Sudan. He is. So,
did you see what Sudanese people look like now? And you're like, oh, and then you find out he's Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, that's another show that we could do. Literally, they're not from where you think they're from. So,
But the point with Abdul the Butcher was, if you were a kid watching him, you were scared to death. He come at you and start carving you up.
Yeah, you got the hell out of the way when him and Bruiser Brody were going at it. You got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, because somebody looked like they were getting killed.
Exactly.
like for real.
Oh, all right. Who you got at number 4 there, Mr. Joey?
I gotta go with one of my favorite big men of all time, Yokozuna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One of the best for a reason. We talked about that before we went on, Man Up, is how Bret the Hitman Hart gave a lot of credit to Rodney Anoa'i for being able to drop one of those 500-pound leg drops, and it felt like a pile of pillows falling on your face. Drop a bonsai drop. If that man sat fully down and sank all his weight into your chest, you would go to the hospital, and you would probably be,
He went flat out on one guy. I was like, oh, is he alive?
But he knew how to do it safely. That's the thing. And Bret, to hear one of the all-time best WWF champions like Bret Hart talk about really fond memories of working with Yokozuna and having, let's be honest, we saw the televised and pay-per-view matches, but they tore it up all over the circuit. Everywhere the WWF went, Bret and Yoko was top bill program for a long time, and especially around '93, where they was married to each other. So until Bret started working with Jerry Lawler, but I mean, you talk about they really made each other during that time, those matches they were having, and then you come back around to WrestleMania 10 where Yoko did the honors for Bret.
Yeah.
But you can't take it away. We talked about it, other times, that Yokozuna was the first Samoan that wasn't just like a Samoan savage.
Exactly.
And he was big. So
yeah.
I did love how he would jump off the middle rope onto you. It looked like the dude was dead.
Yeah. When they counted the 3, you believed it.
Yeah. That dude ain't moving. but a lot of people did say he only messed up one time. But a lot of people did say that you didn't even know he fell on you, because you would think Rey Mysterio fell on you, not Yokozuna. That's what a lot of people had described it. And it was like, wow.
Literally the art of wrestling. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
It is.
All right, who I got as my number 4? I'm going to take a jab at Mr. Cedric right there. Home state dude. I'm talking about Mark Henry.
Okay.
World's strongest man, world's strongest teenager. A lot of people don't know that. He was also considered the world's strongest teenager.
Okay.
And he got the itch to be, weightlifting and powerlifting. A lot of people don't know that. It's 2 different things. He from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He these are words from him.
Yeah.
He got the itch to do it, and he started doing it. But then once the Olympics was over, I think he won a silver medal, if I'm not mistaken. I forget, so don't quote me. He didn't know where he was going to go next. He said he got a call from Vince to come on there, and he was just so amazed when he walked in Vince's office, talking about, is that Andre's boost? Is that Ultimate Wars things and all that good stuff? And it was like he was just so surprised because he was also a lifelong fan of the WWF at that time. And when he finally got his contract, his gimmick at first was always around him being world's strongest man and folding frying pans and metals in half and all that stuff, stopping a car from moving. You can see the tires smoking and all that stuff. And he got upset one time because he had to go back down to the developmental. At that time, it was VCW or OVW.
OVW.
OVW. Okay, sorry about that. So he was upset about that because he thought, he was already ready. But Vince told him, no, I want you to get more prepared. So he did come back, and he told the story one time that one time Vince played a cruel joke on him, and he was real pissed, and he was about to leave. He was about to quit. Was when at the end of I think it was SmackDown, but at the end of the show, he was supposed to wrestle one of those little small Japanese guys, I forget the guy's name. And it was just a rib, and the dude never came out. The show was over, blah, blah, blah. And Mark Henry felt embarrassed and upset, stormed at Vince, said, I quit. And Vince said, no, you ain't going to quit. This is the guy I want, this angry dude. And that's how Hall of Pain came about.
Nice.
And I don't think you could argue that was his best run. I mean, and Mark Henry's one of those guys that took him a little while to get off to the races, but when he did, boy, like he was, he became a world champion for a reason. Like once he got over, and it caught on. I mean, we can, I did enjoy him in the Nation of Domination. I thought that was, a building blocks for his career and stuff like that. The sexual chocolate thing was funny, but I think, it's what it was, but let's be honest. It gave us another dimension of Mark Henry that he wasn't just strong. He had a personality, and he could work off that a little bit. But you're right. When he got in that Hall of Pain character and he truly became a main eventer, you can't beat it. Like he was when he got over.
I think he was already. This is just me. Y'all might think different, but I think he was already over. But yes, that Hall of Pain. Woo-wee, yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, isn't he a 2-time world champion or 3 or what?
If you count his ECW run, ECW title run,
no knock on ECW, but I'm not talking about them.
No, the WWE ECW.
No, I know. Yeah. But I'm talking about with the big gold with the
just once.
Just once, okay. All right.
Twice, I don't know.
Just once.
I thought it was twice, but okay. All right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But okay, but yeah, Mark Henry is my number 4. Who you got there, Cedric?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I know.
Oh,
the Kamala, the Ugandan.
Oh, I did not think of him either.
Yeah, it's so many. It really is so many.
Mississippi, right?
Huh?
Yep, I used to live about 45 minutes from him.
Yeah, he's from Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay. My bad. Go ahead.
Sugar Bear Harris. Jerry Lawler came up with that gimmick, didn't he, Joe?
Yeah, because he cultivated it in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I've said before. This is off topic about Lawler, but just you don't know if you've only seen Lawler in the WWF, then you don't know Jerry Lawler because he created. I mean, but you're talking about Kamala was so good. Like I could go on. He's not even on my list, and now I feel bad. I'm glad he's on your list so we can talk
about him.
Yeah.
But he was great. Like he worked with everybody that was anybody. They even brought him back to the WWF to work with the Undertaker.
Exactly. So yeah, he had a good run with Hogan. That was he was up. Yeah, I think he had like 2 or 3. He had like 2 or 3 runs in WWF alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you remember Brooklyn Brawler being Kim Chi under the mask, and
exactly,
Harvey Whippleman, aka Downtown Bruno. Too as his manager,
Dr. Harvey Whippleman.
Yeah, old Downtown Bruno, as he's known in Memphis.
So yeah, Kamala. Yeah, wow. You thought this savage from Uganda is like, ooh, Yeah.
I think Kamala, man. Wow, I forgot all about that dude, man.
Mhm.
Funny enough, and I hope
May he rest in paradise.
Yes.
Funny
Definitely.
enough, yeah, that was a sad situation because diabetes got him in the long run. He ended up losing both legs,
Yeah.
and it was a sad ending for him. But I guarantee you, if he went back and if you asked him, would he do it all over again?
He would.
Because he had a great career, man. You can't take nothing away from Kamala. And I was going to throw this in because in case he sees it, the great Reverend of Soul, Brother Heaven Lee Love, at one time did a character that was blessed by Kamala, called being his son, the Ugandan warrior Kunta.
Wow.
Yep, and carried on and did a similar gimmick like that, just as a smaller guy.
Nice.
But did the character, and matter of fact, did it on Memphis Wrestling in the 2000s.
I wonder if some of that's on YouTube.
I think it is somewhere. Yeah, he did that character a lot. If it was hard to do it in places where they knew him as Brother Love, but he had several. And Marvin Galloway had several characters back then, and I hope he sees this because he's an old friend and trained by the Junkyard Dog actually.
Okay,
but yeah, did get the blessing, and they wanted him up in Memphis Wrestling. I think it was around 04, 05, and he did a bunch of shows up there, and I think at one time they were hoping that Kamala could wrestle again and do something with him, but I think he was in too rough a shape by then.
Yeah. I remember one time I was working in Mississippi. He was on the same show, so that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, y'all jogged my memory big time, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Who you got there for your number 3 there, Mr. Joey?
All right, so my number 3 is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Everybody this.
Yeah, it's hard not to have him in your top 5 just because all the reasons we already said, and just his ability just to work like this is something I want to say, because in modern times you have big guys that try to work like cruiserweights.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Bam did it in a way that made sense more than I think the modern wrestlers do it. He didn't need to do, suicida planches and stuff like that. He worked like a big man. Like, he knew how to work like a big man. He knew how to throw a nice looking headbutt. He knew how to, he knew how to work like a big man, but he also knew how to work in his athletic ability to make it mean something at the right times. Like Bam Bam had that, he was charismatic and he had that presence and he had that special ability and that good timing and everything in the ring, knowing where to put stuff in the match. And that's an art, I think, a lot of guys, if they would go, a lot of the big guys, if they go back and watch Bam Bam Bigelow's matches, they might learn a thing or two.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we all like the Bam Bam Bigelow, as I could tell.
Yeah.
Different reasons, but,
Yeah.
Some of the same.
It would be disrespectful not to mention him. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All righty. My number 3 is who we were just talking about, Yokozuna.
Okay.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that we have just mentioned, and me and Joey was talking offline, it's just amazing to me. Because, okay, all right, put it like this here. Before I knew all these backstage stories, I really thought these wrestlers got seriously hurt or died when he fell on them. I really did. I'm
Yo, Shannon, Banzai!
You're like, he go, boom. You're like,
it's just him there with his arms crossed at the end. Mean bugging you in the camera. Yeah. Mean bugging you, let you know he could mess you up.
Like, he just didn't care or nothing. So it's like, damn. I'm like, what the? But now with the age of the internet, social media, people talking and all that stuff, you hear stories. You're like, he didn't even hurt him.
Man up. Do you know who came up with the Yokozuna character for him?
No,
because they had hired him when he was still working as Coquina Maximus.
Yeah, yep.
Remember that?
And they were watching him.
Is it the dude that used to come to the ring with him? I forgot his name.
No, you talking about Mr. Fuji? No,
no,
it was Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, I did not know that. No, I did not know.
Slaughter and Vince McMahon were watching him from the gorilla position work a match as Coquina Maximus. And then Vince was like, I can't have him out there like that. I got to find a character for him. And it was Sergeant Slaughter was like, make him a sumo. and he helped come up with it. And man, talk about putting Mr. Fuji with him. You couldn't make it more legit. You put Fuji with him. Fuji wore the sumo garb. Then you put Jim Cornette with him later to be the mouthpiece and stuff.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I want to say it was Survivor Series '93 when he debuted. I think.
Don't quote me. I might be wrong.
It would have been '92
because he won the title in '93. Yeah, it was '92. He wrestled Virgil.
He's got to do the honors.
Fuji got a winner here. Yeah. Boy, did they know. Boy, they had a winner.
I remember he had a program with Duggan leading up to the Royal Rumble. So Duggan did a good job. Duggan got him hot. Leading up to that, and that was when remember until what, June of '93, nobody took Yoko really.
Exactly. That's when they started that program with Luger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, and who could forget Yoko teaming with Owen Hart and being WWF Tag Team Champions?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Woo. Hey, we got some good, respectable people on our list. Who you got for your number 2, there, Mr. Cedric?
Oh, number 2 is close to my heart because part of my first wrestling memory. The master of the 5 count, King Kong Bundy. Man, do you know what it's like to see a man? My first wrestling memory, see a big old man squashing Hulk Hogan on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
That's my first wrestling memory, and that stays in my mind. Him on top of Hogan, then Hogan doing this. King Kong Bundy. Oh my gosh. Just that big monster freaking heel, man. It's like, outside of the ring, he's freaking hilarious. He really is.
I think it was it Lawler also that told him to shave his head in the first place? And I think it might have been. I think it was when he was down in Memphis, and because for a while he had a full head of brown hair.
Before that, he was in I believe he was in Texas though.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe it was somebody there. I don't remember
because he had a Yukon. He had built from being from Alaska.
Yeah.
And eventually he evolved to what we would known in WWF. He had a singlet, but he had long tights back then. Then he got rid of that and whatnot. He had Fritz's retirement match for the American Heavyweight title. I want to say that was in '82, but because of course, Fritz came back between now and then when wrestling with his sons. Whatnot, but yeah, that before he came to WWF. WrestleMania 1 when this SD Jones had the quickest match in the world with SD Jones.
Yeah,
9 seconds or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. And then he got the WrestleMania 2 main event.
Exactly. That big old blue steel cage, man. It's
awful, but imagine if you had to work in that thing and get your head rammed in. It was solid steel. Hell no. At least the gate steel cage had give.
Oh man, shoot. But if they had to climb out, Bundy wasn't be able to climb out that thing.
No.
If they had the mesh, but. They gave the appearance that he could have with those big old steel freaking bars, man. Yeah. That looks stiff though. Jesus.
Yeah. WWF rings and everything were so stiff. That's what you hear all the time from those old timers that are like, especially when they went from Jim Crockett or somewhere like that to the WWF, and the ring was bigger and then it was way stiffer, and they were like, "Good God, like you're killing me."
Exactly.
All righty. That was a good one. Who you got there for your number 2, Mr. Joey?
All right. It's time. It's Vader time. I gotta go with Big Van Vader for not just his amazing career in WCW, but for his career in New Japan and All Japan, winning both the IWGP Heavyweight title and the All Japan Triple Crown Heavyweight title. And later, I believe Global Honor Crown heavyweight tag team champion with Too Cold Scorpio, had a lot of success in Japan. And I'll never forget, like, talk about being a big guy that people were afraid of. That huge monstrosity bull-looking demon thing that the smoke came out of or whatever. And when he debuted on WCW, of course, I never saw it before. And it was just sitting there, and he put it down, and then the smoke's just coming out of it.
Badass.
And he looked like he'd kill a guy in the ring. Like
yeah.
And Vader was snug anyway. Like, he laid it in. He laid his stuff in. But just I listen to Ric Flair talk about him wrestling him at Starrcade '93, and Vader was just beating up on Ric Flair, and Harley told him, "You hit that big baby back." he called Vader a big baby. He's like, "He's not gonna put you over if you don't hit him back. You gotta hit him back." Harley's trying to tell Rick to give it to him back, and he did. And I think that's the only way Vader would put Rick over and give him the belt. Rick had to legit fight back and give some back to him. But my favorite, of course, was Sting and Vader's matches. I thought that was a fire. Like that when he won the title and he power bombed him, and then he had like Sting, as big as Sting was, just folded over on himself, getting pinned. And
my gosh, yes.
It was brutal. And then, of course, one of my favorite moments, of course, was Ron Simmons hitting him with that power slam and winning the WCW heavyweight titles. So Vader was a part of so many great memories. I really feel like Vince just did not understand Vader, like understand what to do with him. And I felt like that's, again, we talk about another conversation one day, have a show about that. But
exactly.
I hate him seeing him summed up for his WWF career, because in WCW
so much more.
Japan, he was a killer monster.
So much more.
One thing that this is coming from Ron Simmons when he was on the Stone Cold podcast. Ron Simmons said that Vader was the one who said he wanted to make Ron Simmons the first black heavyweight champion. So that's coming from Vader. That's coming from Ron Simmons saying that Vader said that.
Yeah.
And Ron Simmons had no idea that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he said the only time that he realized he knew was when he gave Vader that, right before he threw Vader into the ropes, right before he did that, before he gave that power slam, that he heard the referee say something. I forgot what Ron Simmons said, but he said he heard the referee say something, and that's when he kind of put two and two together and realized that's when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But they said it was all Vader's idea.
Nice.
Yeah. I believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that was awesome. That was amazing, man. To hear that. And still to this day, that's an amazing story in my head. So
definitely.
And like I said, that's coming from Ron Simmons himself. Mm-hmm. So you got to believe it.
Lie about it,
he was one of the most, if not the most respected person in the ring at that point in time. All right, fellas. My number 2, I gotta go with the guy that they say every day would drink like 100 beers a day. I put it like that. Yeah, I know who I'm talking about. If I'm not mistaken, he's French.
Yeah.
Talking about Andre the Giant.
Of course.
I wonder if that story really true. I believe it because so many people said it.
No, he didn't just drink 100 beers a day. Like Jake Roberts talked about driving him an hour and a half to the next town and them stopping, and he buy a case of beer and 2 bottles of wine and drink the whole thing in an hour and a half on the way.
Damn. Hey,
then they go to the bar and nobody could hang with him because he just drank the whole bar down.
That's a lot, man.
That's insane.
Yeah. So the story's got to be true because so many people said it. But my whole thing with Andre, man, it looked like towards the tail end of his career. I know he was wrestling. I forget exactly where Vince got it from, so don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But towards the tail end of his career, I felt bad for him because I would watch him all the time for leverage. Always lean on the ropes, walking, with the ropes and stuff to hold himself up. That's my fond memory of Andre the Giant. And I kind of felt bad for the dude, things like that. And then also, too, when I think it was WrestleMania 3, whatever, with Bobby the Brain Heenan, they would come out to the ring with their little small ring, walking down to the actual ring.
Yeah.
That's the time I'm talking about, things about those times. I think it was 3 or 4.
It was WrestleMania 3 in the Silverdome. They had those cards taken out
the ramp was like half a mile long.
Exactly.
Like in the Pontiac Silverdome, there was how else were they going to get there? You'd be completely out of breath.
Sure.
Go back.
Then of course, I love the stories that Hulk Hogan told about Andre the Giant, especially when he had the match with Macho Man. Macho Man had asked Andre, "How do you want to do this match?" And no, baby oil.
Baby oil. Get out.
Now they was all playing cards and stuff, and Macho Man was always scared of Andre, didn't want to wrestle and stuff like that. There's a bunch of stories where Andre just found so fascinating.
I love the freaking stories. His battles with John Studd over who's the true giant, man. Oh my gosh! He
hated John Studd for doing the stepping over the top rope, because he said that's his signature thing, and that's the reason why Andre really hated Big John Studd, because of that.
Exactly. So.
I remember that.
Yeah. Andre, he's known for being WWF, but like I was saying about Abdullah, Andre went to all the territories, man. He went to Memphis, he went to Mid-South, he went to Texas, he went everywhere. He was that attraction. Everybody in the world knew who Andre the Giant was. So and then he was a respected Florida. We won a Florida tag team titles with Dusty Rhodes, for goodness sake, man. I'm constantly trying to learning like that. There was lives before they went mainstream with WWF, and I try to find out about those. So I'm like, what are the titles of Andre held? He ain't hold that many titles. He really has, but he didn't need it either.
No, because again, it goes back to, what do? You got to beat him for it if you put it on.
Exactly.
So you didn't want to beat Andre because he was special because of that, because he never really lost matches. He didn't have to. Vince loved to bring him in to do battle royals. That was what he used to use him for an attraction. He'd fill the ring with 20 guys, and Andre just whoop them all. Throw them all out. That's all you had to do. He didn't even have to pin anybody or anything. He just do a battle royal and let everybody else beat the hell out of each other, and he'd just toss them out when he got ready to.
Hey. Before we get to our number one, y'all, I want to say I hope y'all are enjoying this. This is fun. This is a great one so far, man. I'm be honest. This is awesome. But go ahead now. Who you got there for your number one now, Mr. Cedric?
Number one is my number one was Big Van Vader. He was my number one. So me and Joey, we were on the same page. I just had Joey. I just had Vader just a little bit higher. Going back to what I was saying about Bam Bam Bigelow, that evolution. Big Bam Vader. Vader started doing moonsaults off the top rope as well. He moved good, boy. When he whip you off the rope, and he come up to you with that body press, man. That just looked like it. That just looked like it freaking hurts, man. It's like, get you in that corner, and he's like, he had punches. He like he beating the hell out of you with his doggone forearms, man.
Yeah,
like Vader, man.
Pound you in the ribs and stuff like that. Just beating a guy up in his midsection. The guy just drops, like he's just looking like he's really just taking the wind out of him.
Exactly. It's freaking battles in freaking Japan, freaking eye popped out and shit, man. Like
yeah. And I think that's why he was so stiff when he got to WCW, just because Japan.
Exactly, man.
Like they give it to each other. It's a competition. That's why the Steiners like wrestling over there and stuff, because you give it to them, they're going to give it back to you. They like a little rough over there. So.
Mm-hmm. So Big Bam Vader, my number one.
Oh wow. Can't go wrong, man. I forgot to put Vader on I wouldn't even think about Vader at first.
Yeah, man. It's so many. We're gonna cover a bunch of them that we don't mention for our honorable mention, definitely.
All right, who you got there for your number one there, Mr. Joey?
Well, my number one is the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong. Going back to him, you said you remember him most for his later career. And of course, I do too, because I'm not old enough, but I like going back, and I think Andre's best times were as a babyface. And I think, you know, just like the Big Show, he could throw a drop kick in the 70s. You know, he could do a lot of stuff you didn't know that a 400-pound man at over 7 feet tall could legit do. Like he, you know, and fun fact, his first North American appearances were when he was brought into Montreal, actually. And he became, that's where, you know, Vince Sr. first got laid eyes on Andre the Giant, knew he was working up in Montreal, and knew if he could work in Montreal, they could bring him down to New York and get him on some shows down there. So when he was, you know, over from Europe. So, you know, just another guy talking about that, you know, everybody said he could, 500 pounds, he could just drop an elbow drop on you, but you'd feel like a stack of pit. Bret Hart said that about him too. Felt like he always trusted Andre with his life if he was going out there to work with him. Like Bret loved working Andre too, and did not mind doing whatever Andre wanted, because Andre was going to take care of you. And he, I mean, just knowing, like, as a heel, when to like tie himself up in the ropes and let the babyface get them licks in on him and stuff. He just, you know, he had that timing again. He knew when to do it in the match to make it mean something. And, you know, he was the perfect opponent for Hulk Hogan. But I like how as kids, everybody believed that Hulk Hogan was the first person to body slam Andre. And then you go back now and Giant Baba body slammed him. Harley Race body slammed him. But, you know.
Yeah, of course you think that because you didn't know at the time.
Right.
Now,
didn't know he wrestled Harley Race for the NWA World Championship and stuff, and you know, like it, and had been over there wrestling Giant Baba. But now I see why, because Baba and Andre had to be like an attraction in itself. Like
exactly,
both, you know, the Japanese Giant versus the French, you know, like, and so man, Andre was special though, and you know, it's sad at the end of his career to see, like we talked about, how he suffered and everything, but he didn't want to get out of the ring. He didn't want to, you know. That's why after he left WWF, he went down to Mexico and was wrestling, and went back to Japan and had matches. And, you know, you see these videos of him, and he looked rough. He could, you know, he wasn't getting around well, but his heart was in that ring.
Yeah. Hey, when you love it, man, you love it, you know?
Yeah.
I just what it is. And I could talk about that all day with wrestlers who say they love it and don't want to give it up until they just can't go no more.
Yeah.
That's another show. Hey. All right.
Who is your number one? I'm curious now.
My number one, I'm finna throw you off now. Just playing. I ain't finna go there. I ain't gonna go there.
The Nigerian.
I don't think I'm ready to mess with him, but I said, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you why this person is my number one before I tell you who it is. My first ever show I went to, my wife was pregnant, and we were pregnant with my little girl, and we went to a show together. My first time, my wife took me to a show back in 2009. I want to say like November or whatever, 2009. And
I know
we sat right there at the ring. I think I told y'all this story. And we sat right there at the ring at the entrance when, you know, and for some odd reason, my wife was like, choking. And the ref started laughing. And the number one who I'm talking about is the Big Show.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I still had that fond memory in my head. We're sitting right here at the entranceway. If I'm describing this perfectly, we're sitting here right here at the entranceway, and we're like 2 rows before the ring, whatever, away from the ring. There we go. And she loved the Big Show at that point in time. And my wife was like, choking, Big Show, choking. Knock it out. And the ref was laughing his butt off. He could not do his job because he was laughing at my wife so much. And this was a non-televised event back in 2009.
Of course.
And it was funny as hell. And I know I've always liked the Big Show because he's a big dude. He's a funny guy. Everybody says how, you know, he's always make you laugh and stuff like that. You know, he was a lovable guy. Him and Mark Henry are best friends. Him, Mark Henry, and John Cena are all best friends and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just watching the Big Show. One of the fun memories I have of the Big Show. I don't know if y'all remember this. It was on a Monday Night Raw. He made Vince McMahon so mad because Vince thought he was gonna hurt himself, and he, big as he is, did a kick up. And I was like, what the? And he actually did it. He did it just perfectly fine. And Vince said, don't you ever do that again because I'm scared you're going to hurt yourself. And he never did it again. Never did it again. And as big as he always was, that man could move in that ring.
Yeah.
And now, I ain't talking about no arm drags, no flying off top rope. He did do a couple of moves off the ropes, but I ain't talking about all that stuff. But big as he is, he could move. And I remember, I might quote me if I'm wrong on this, but I remember the first time that ring broke was with him and Brock Lesnar. And that was an awesome sight to see. Oh, yeah. That was amazing. And I know I'm kind of skipping back and forth, all over the place with this, but I'm just getting all these thoughts out of my head.
Yeah.
And with the Big Show, watching him when he first, I think this is when he first debuted, when he came from under the ring, and he choke slammed was it Shawn? No,
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Okay, yeah, he choke slammed Stone Cold, and I didn't know he left WCW to come to WWF at that time. I didn't even know it. So just see that, I was like, wow, you know. And then actually now follow his career because I was more of a WWF fan at that time. Now I'm really following him. You know what I'm saying? And I loved his intro music and all that good stuff, you know, pertaining to him. So, I mean, I just got so many memories with the Big Show, and that's one of the reasons why my daughter loves wrestling, because my wife was pregnant when we went to a show, all that good stuff. Y'all know that superstitious stuff that people love to say.
Of course.
So you know, so it all started with that. That's what really got me going with the Big Show.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember him debut. That was St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It was Stone Cold and Vince in the cage. I remember that. All right. Before we wrap this thing up, let's go and talk about some of the posts who didn't make any of our lists. One of my, and I went back and forth with this one. The Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Like, again, agile, smooth. I loved him. I loved him on the mic. And I really enjoyed watching the evolution for being the heavy for Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express.
Yeah.
Coming up through Jim Crockett Promotion, then doing UWF, became UWF champion. Then he had dropped the belt when he went to WWF, and I enjoyed watching that evolution. So yeah, he was definitely on my list.
I got to give a shout out to one of my all time favorites, the One Man Gang, or AKA the African Dream by King.
Exactly.
John Soul Bro. All right.
Crusher Broomfield in ICW.
The gang in that big 747 splash. I love the One Man Gang. He's another one that had head tattoos and stuff, but you couldn't see it when he was a king because he grew the daggum hair back then. But Gang had that chain with him. Yeah.
That's my top honorable. My top honorable mention. I talk about him a lot. Me and Joey were talking about him before we went live here. Before we started recording here. Excuse me. I'm talking about Rikishi.
Okay.
I love Rikishi. I know I mentioned him a lot, but I love Rikishi, man. He was such a lovable character, and he could move good for his size. I love when he do the super kick. I love when he teamed up with Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Flash.
Did you call him Grandmaster Flash?
Yeah, Grandmaster Sexy.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Flash, but yeah, y'all know what I'm trying to say.
I know. It's okay. It's okay.
That's why I caught myself after I said it. I was like, damn. But yeah, with Too Cool and all that. That was funny, doing the dancing and stuff. It's like he transformed to somebody else when they put them shades on him. It was funny. He was like a 3-time Intercontinental champion, I think, something like that. But anyway,
yeah,
it was awesome, watching Rikishi, do his thing. Everybody loved him too.
yeah.
Only person that didn't really too much care for him. Well, let me clarify when I say this. Didn't too much care for the stink face was Booker T. That's it.
I wouldn't have cared for it neither.
Just saying that big old posterior man.
I thought you were going to say Stone Cold didn't care for him because he ran him over for The Rock.
I didn't for The Rock.
Tried to turn Rikishi heel. Come on now.
Exactly.
That when he turned heel at that point, that didn't work for me.
I'm a bad man. Just a bad man. That song, like what?
Yeah, it's not working, bro.
That didn't work for me. I mean, I still liked him because of who he is, but that didn't work for me.
I got something to say for Rikishi's heel turn.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty foul there. Yeah. Man up. I'm shocked at you, sir. I'm very, very shocked at you. You go on and on about these two guys, and you ain't mention me in your super heavyweight list. I'm shocked, sir. You ain't mentioned Giant Gonzalez or the Great Khali once. What happened, sir? You always bragging about the
Giant Gonzalez.
Just for you. I wrote it down just for you. Because I knew you were going to go there. I knew it.
I bet you to it.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it. I said, I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to wait because I knew you were going to do that.
Oh, boy.
I think Joey tired of our little antics here.
No. It's just if he was seriously on your list, then I'm going to excuse myself.
No, he wasn't, but I wrote it down because I said Cedric gonna say this. I know it.
Oh, that stupid bodysuit thing he wore.
Oh my God! Okay, all right. He had the bodysuit in WWF, and then he had the gimmick that he wore in WCW. Which one did you prefer?
Neither.
Elegante.
Elegante.
They tried everything to make him a super baby face. They talk about having him beat Ric Flair for the title. And it's like, have you lost your mind? Like, yeah, I think Rick probably was like, no. Like not doing that. No. I'm sorry. I don't care how over you think this dude could be. No. Yep. I've got to give a shout out to the great, the late great Viscera, aka King Mabel.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. He was. Now, I hate that a lot of people remember him as in the pajamas doing the. Yeah, but I think at the end there when he had the Big Daddy V run, it could have really morphed into something more because that was a pretty good gimmick for him. Mm-hmm. But he's definitely a unique big man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, here's the one that me and Joey was talking about as well too. I threw him in there because he didn't really have a career in wrestling, but he showed up a few times. I put it like that. And we're talking about one of the great NBA players. I'm talking about Shaq. And it was funny as hell to see him somewhat feud with the Big Show. That was funny as hell. Then he went over to AEW and did his thing there too. It was just, he wanted to have that match with the Big Show, but coming from Shaq, he said Vince didn't want to do it because Vince wanted Shaq to get into a little bit better shape. So he kept pushing the date back until Shaq just said, forget it. So
I mean, this is coming from Vince McMahon, who had the Big Show lose to Floyd Money Mayweather.
Oh dear gosh!
See Joe's face.
Big Show had to get down on his knees and let this 150-pound man punch him in the face, and then he had to sell it. I'm done. That's me right there. I don't care if it was mid WrestleMania. I'm turning it off.
That was weird though to see that. That was.
It was not believable. That's the biggest problem. So
Yeah, that is true. That's true. It wasn't. Oh man, this was fun. This was a good one, man. This was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know how this one was gonna turn out.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give one last shout out to one. I don't know if you want to call him a super heavyweight, but he is. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, one guy that's wrestling right now, because I give him a lot of credit. He's going pretty strong. He's a former tag team champion. I'm talking about Otis. You know, he's
Otis. Yeah, I thought you were about to say Omos. I don't know why. Like,
see, there y'all go. There y'all go.
Hey, you open the door. We're gonna come right on in, man.
No, but I give a little credit to Otis. You know, he's doing his thing. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I know he got a long way to go, but you know, he's doing his thing. So I give him credit.
Yeah. Awesome. So, but yeah, this is the best. I hope everybody enjoyed the freaking show. As always, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and check out the channel, and definitely subscribe to us. Meanwhile, Joy, what else can they do?
They can copy the link right down there here on YouTube if you're watching it on here, and go ahead and share that on your social media platforms. Share it in pro wrestling groups if you see it, and we would definitely appreciate that. And if you ever have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you're in the Facebook group, if you're not in the Facebook group, you need to look us up on there, Bells and Belts Podcast. We do have a group on Facebook. We'd love for you to join. And that is a place where you can interact with us, that we're going to ask you your opinions on shows you want to see us do, topics you want to talk about, guests you might want to see, etc. If you're a part of that, you get to be interactive with really more with the creative end on that.
Oh yeah, so I want y'all to enjoy the experience, because we plan on taking this thing a little higher than what it can ever go. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all had y'all fun. But before we get out of here, Mr. Cedric, let's go ahead and end this show. Ring that bell. That being said, I love y'all. I hope y'all stay safe out there. Y'all have a good one.